In the beginning, it was a fairly contentious issue.
Nobody trusted anybody.
Nobody was working together.
We didn't really see one another's point of view very well.
You either wore a black hat or you wore a white hat, let it grow.
Literally, there were fist fights. It was very difficult. It was very messy.
It is very difficult. It's very complex.
People were tired of the confrontation.
Everybody has to give a little to get.
Don't expect everybody to agree up front.
We have to create common ground in some areas. We have to.
Everyone had generally the same goal.
Our concern was getting long-lasting effect.
You know, the very thing that brought people to southern Arizona was being lost.
And we had to do something.
When this process started, there was absolutely no love lost, there was absolutely no communication and no understanding, and there was no trust.
It was very difficult. It was very messy. It wasn't much fun for the first 3 years.
The conflicts are inevitable, but they're isolated conflicts as opposed to everything being a conflict.
People were trying to get their core issues out to the rest of the group, and nobody felt like they were being heard, so they just said the same thing louder and louder and louder.
There was sort of an original standoff among the groups, and silly people smacking each other over the head with notebooks and pushing each other.
Literally, there were fist fights. Everybody pushed just to get as much, if it was the conservation community, or as little if it was the home building community, as they could. And
when you see all these warring interest groups, that does not look like the formula for a happy ending to a land use proposal.
But within each camp, certain individuals did arise out of that process that began to communicate with one another.
A few people that wanted to be productive kind of went off to a corner and made a commitment that if we came up with some policies, we were responsible for going back and selling it to our constituencies.
And I think that provided a core that other members of the steering committee formed around.
I mean, we got to know each other. We went to so many meetings that with a few limited exceptions, you just couldn't not like each other after a while.
That was done by accident, but it turned out to probably be one of the best things that ever happened because it created this sustainable support for the conservation plan.
I don't think that we could have had a Sonoran Desert Conservation Plan that has buy-in from the community unless people were part of it.
There's much to be understood about the power of the community when you let them take over the knowledge.
If you don't get the whole gamut, the whole sphere of people that care about this issue, you're not going to have a successful plan. And people don't want to do that because it's too painful.
This is not about partisan politics. It's not about vast national issues. It's about our community. And if you start looking around, you'll find lots of help, lots of possibilities at every level of government in the most surprising and really productive places.
We have the last great opportunity to save open space in this part of the world. That's amazing, and that's powerful, and it's important, and people realize how lucky they are to be part of that process.
Without this process, we would have looked like Phoenix. We would have looked like South Central LA. And it is the one thing that may save the overall quality of life for Pima County.
We can make a living, we can develop our communities and our economy without destroying the values that have created the community in the first place.
This is very important because the only way that you protect the environment is if you have a strong economic base.
It's just that simple. The resources provide the economic base, and we can use them in a way that is in fact renewable and that guarantees a future for us, for our kids, for generations.